way better than dogs, and here's why. There are lots of reasons. For one, a dog is loud. It's really, really noisy, okay? And every time someone comes to your house, the dog freaks out and is like, "Ah, what's going on? What?" Why is there someone here? I don't like that person. I don't know them. Blah, 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 blah. And they're jumping around and yapping and barking and making these awful noises. And probably scaring children if children are visiting. Okay, why else? Pooping. Okay. To get a dog to poop, you gotta take it out and put the poop somewhere there where the dog wants to do it, in some other place, someone's yard, on the side. Sidewalk, and you need to pick it up. And if you just let the dog do its business and you don't pick it up, you're being rude to other people. Okay. Okay. There's no rudeness involved in a cat pooping. You give it a box. You say, "Always poop in that box." The cat always poops in that box. You scoop it up, you take care of it, you throw it away. No one is bothered if you don't do that. I mean, other than you. Okay. Next reason is that cats, when they want to be affectionate with you, they jump up, they get on you, they curl up, they sort of take a nap on you. Nobody's bothered by this. But when a dog wants to get up on you, it's like this huge production, and they're like twitching, and their legs are pressing down into your legs, and it's uncomfortable and horrible. So that's pretty terrible. Dogs smell awful. Cats, they have a little sort of aroma, but cats do not like make your whole world smell of gross, gross dog. Um, cats' drool does not smell gross when they drool on you, which they don't very much. It's not like a mastiff. So, for these and many other reasons, I would say that cats are really just far, far superior, and they're prettier too. Did I mention that? So I like to drink cocktails, and there are a lot of things out there that aren't really cocktails. Mixed drinks, that's fine, but there is a very specific definition to what is a cocktail. Cocktails, mixed drinks, first started to be consumed in this country in about 1800 or so. And initially there was just one kind of cocktail. There was a drink called a cocktail. And it's now what's called an old-fashioned, which is the original cocktail drink. And an old-fashioned consists of whiskey, originally probably bourbon or rye. Uh, has a little bit of water, has some sugar, and has bitters. Bitters is an aromatic concoction made of herbs and some fruits, fruit peels and things like this, steeped over a very long time in an alcoholic base. And you only need a couple of drops of bitters to make a good cocktail. In an old fashioned, the sugar and the water are usually combined now into a syrup, like a simple sugar syrup. But originally, a drink that did not have a base spirit, sugar, water, and bitters was not a cocktail. So many things we now think of as cocktails now, like a gin and tonic or a rum and coke, not really cocktails because there's a base spirit and there's something else. That's not quite enough. You've got to have the bitters in there and a little bit of water. So next time you're ordering a cocktail, you really want to have a cocktail the proper way. Have an old-fashioned, or if you want to be newfangled, have a Manhattan. Both of these are old man cocktails, but trust me, once you learn to drink them, you'll learn to appreciate them. And cocktails are finer things in life, truly worth appreciating. Both of these are old man cocktails, but trust me, once you learn to drink them, you'll learn to appreciate them. And cocktails are finer things in life, truly worth appreciating. When recorded music first became popular, the first major way of distributing music was on cylinders, which were about the size of this soda can. And they were hollow in the middle and coated with black shellac with wax on it. And there was a groove carved around, spiraling around, and going down and down and down and down and down. And the groove carried the sound. Eventually, it was decided that a different format was cheaper and easier to store, and that was the flat circular record. And the first popular format of that was the 78, which was about 10 inches in diameter. And it's called a 78 because it turns on the record player 78 times per minute. You could get about 3.5 to 4 minutes of sound on each side, and later improvements led to the 45, which was 7 inches. you could get about 3.5 to 4 minutes of sound on each side. And later improvements led to the 45, which was 7 inches, and likewise carried 3 to 4 minutes of sound on each side. Much lighter in weight, easier to store, easier to transport. And if you've ever wondered why it is that most popular songs that you hear on the radio are 3.5 to 4 minutes long, it's because that's how long a song could be and fit on one side of a record. In the 1960s, 50s and 60s, the more popular format became the 12-inch album, which called the LP, the long playing, and that takes about 20 or 25 minutes of sound on either side, so you can get a 40 or 50 minutes of sound on that, get a nice collection of 8 or 10 songs. Onto one disc, and that became the album format, which, even though we don't use those anymore, that's still, sort of the popular format for songs, is a collection of songs called an album. But for years, the classical music labels wanted a disc that you could put Beethoven's Ninth Symphony on, which is too long to fit on that. It's over an hour. And so when they invented the CD, they were really trying to make something that was long enough that you could put Beethoven's Ninth on it. And it's 74 minutes long. the CD is the modern format, and of course now it's all going the way of the dodo because we're now moving to digital downloads. When I was in high school, between my junior and senior years, I went on an exchange trip to Germany with most of the kids in my German class. And one day, several of us had gotten out of our school, went to a German school. We got out of school and we were hanging around the town center, and trying to figure out what we were going to do. And we all needed money, so we went to the bank to cash in our traveler's checks, and we got some cash. And we were waiting to take our turns, and this nice elderly German lady comes over to us. And she says, "Oh, are you boys and girls Americans?" And we said, "Yes, we are." And she said, "Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, here, I want you to have a good time today." And she gave us 100 marks, which was about $65. Well, my friends all decided that what they wanted was a good American pizza. And I thought, well, no, we should go out and do something German since we're in Germany. But there were more of them than of me, and so they prevailed, and we ended up going to Pizza Hut. And now we all grew up in California, and when we walked into this Pizza Hut, we placed our order, our pizza came, and just as the pizza arrived at the table, Hotel California came on the radio. And we just thought that was the most wonderful thing because it reminded us of home. And so we sat there and ate our pizza and listened to Hotel California. And with our 100-mark note, at the end of the meal, our bill came out to be 99 marks and 95 pfennigs. So we had 5 pfennigs left over, and we felt like we just had the perfect afternoon. So if you've seen a piano and you've seen an organ, at first glance they might look very similar. They have long rows of keys with black and white. All arranged in the same way. But you've probably noticed that an organ is usually somewhat more complicated than a piano. A piano has only one row of keys, and it goes from low at the bottom to high at the top. And it makes one sound, the piano sound. It's a beautiful sound, but there's only one sound. An organ has usually 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 separate keyboards. has a set of pedals down below with all of the notes on them. And each of those different keyboards or manuals can be used to control different sections of the organ, which can make different sounds. There are knobs or levers or pulls that can be used to turn on and turn off the different sounds. Usually, on a modern organ, you can even push a button that will pull out whole sets of things pre-programmed so that you can get certain combinations of sounds at certain times. So the organ can make all kinds of sounds, but a piano can only make one sound, which is, the piano sound. The reason this is that the piano produces sound in a very simple way. It's got a set of strings, got a set of hammers. The hammer beats on the string when you push the key, sound comes out, that's everything. But an organ can have 10, 20, 50, 100 different sounds, each of them made by a set of pipes of different sizes to make different notes, but the shape, the texture, the proportions, and the composition of each pipe makes a different sound. So you have this tremendous diversity of sounds that can be made by an organ and create little tiny peeps and great thundering roars, all from one instrument, controlled by one musician.